No. Those fucking podcast. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yep. Is that?
Yeah. No. It's up.
All right. Cool.
But yeah.
So sorry for that 55-minute delay. My computer had a couple seizures and forgot a bunch of stuff.
Sorry, our tech team was off today.
Yeah. Because we have a tech team.
Man.
Yeah, his name is David.
Yeah. Dude, no, it's funny as hell because I ran into so the first project I worked on for Loudon, there was this guy named Spain.
Right.
So I've known him for almost 3 years now, right? So I go out to these meetings today. It's like 10 different schools. And so guess who the person for Loudon is that's out there, right? Spain. I show up late because the meeting invite that I got said 8 o'clock, but then at 7:30 apparently. I show up at like 7:40 or something like that. So I show up and he's like, "Oh, I thought we were bringing real contractors in here."
Oh.
And then so I said, "Nice to see you. How's your knee doing from last time?" And I was like, "It was real cute seeing you rolling around job sites on one of those little scooters." Old man. Then
Yeah, should have been young and just hobbled around like I did.
Then he said, he shook my hand, and I was like, "I thought they were replacing all you guys, right?" And he's like laughing, ha ha ha, and everyone's like, "All right, I guess they know each other." And then he was like, "Yeah, no, this project's in good hands." And he was like, "You still go by David?"
Yeah, because my first name changed legally.
That's what I told him. I was like, Spain, do you want to see my ID? I was like, "It says David." He's like, "I don't know, maybe you go by something else." I was like, "I went by something else my entire life, and I made a point to introduce myself as my government name."
It's the snowflakes for it, Greg. Yeah, we're gonna get snow Sunday. Don't know how much because that shit changed.
Sheets doesn't close. It said we're supposed to get a foot.
I looked at it today. Now it only says 4 to 6 inches, and the shit changes every fucking hour.
I know in Loudon they're talking about a foot. I don't know about here.
Well, we were estimated to get anywhere from 3 to 7, and I'd say we probably got around like 4 or 5.
Well, they were predicting 3 feet at one point here.
My parents were predicted to get from like 10 to 12 inches, and they got probably around like 10 inches. And
it's
that
just
was in
like
Minnesota.
The amount of accumulation that they had about a week ago for this storm was 3 feet. Then it went down to 10 to 12.
Was improbable.
Dude, that model was absurd.
That's the thing. They do like
was improbable.
They do a shit ton of like model like simulations, and if one of them says 3 feet, they say, "Oh, it's a possibility out there."
And of course, they sent that that got shown directly like days after we got snow.
Yeah.
So everybody was tripping balls. It's like because it said that we were supposed to get 3 feet at the end of January. It didn't say when. It just said at the end of January. And then all of a sudden, this storm's coming up, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get 3.5
Dog,
feet."
me and Danny went by the grocery store today. Everything is wiped out. There was 2 containers of 8-piece chicken wings.
I'm just saying
from Farm Fresh, and that was it. Bro, I don't get it. Everyone wants to drink fucking milk and eat eggs and buy up all the meats. Like, there was hardly shit left.
I'm trying to figure out why people buy so much milk, though.
Why they buy the milk?
When milk has the worst lifespan out of a lot of things.
Dude, I've been buying milk that has like 3 weeks.
Which is fucking weird.
It gets me psyched.
But it's funny because we'll get that, and we'll get it with the longest expiration date. Before it even hits the expiration date, if it's opened and you've got less than half in there, it goes bad.
Yeah, milk gets funky after time.
Dude, it's nasty.
I would understand like people going and buying like cases of water. That would make sense.
Yeah, cases of water, but like
they were stocked full on cases of water.
Water cases were sitting on the ground.
You would think like cases of water and non-perishable foods.
Yeah,
would be like your 2 biggest things. And then,
those are the aisles that were full.
That's what
you had like
fucking ass backwards.
Stupid.
People bought all the fucking chicken thinking, "Oh, my power won't go out."
I mean, don't get me wrong. All you got to do is just get some charcoal.
I was stocking up on weed and beer. Yeah, hey, we got firewood for our little fire pit out front now. We got charcoal, lighter fluid. We're ready for the power to go
Oh,
out.
dog, I just want some fire roasted chicken, son. What's up?
Fire roasted chicken. There you go.
Stocking up on weed and beer. You know, you got to have the essentials.
All right. So
Okay, so boys, I'm gonna let y'all decide where you want to start this podcast.
I'm
Would
gonna
you guys
start off
like
at
to?
number one.
Okay, so you guys want to go in with the sports questions and leave the non-sports related articles till the end?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
That should probably should do our podcast since it's mainly a sports podcast anyway.
It's actually mainly a sports betting podcast. That is the most continuous thing we've had on this channel.
But it's not
It's not the biggest topic on said channel during the videos. It does not take up the most amount of time.
No, but it is the main thing. Sometimes
It
some
goes
of our
lengthy for
podcasts
sure.
are only about sports betting.
I'd say we're a mainly sports podcast, which is funny because our podcast is named after our gaming group.
Yeah.
Yeah, we dabble. What's up? We
We
dabble.
dabble.
We
We don't.
have
I don't think we've ever
Sam
streamed a video game on this podcast on this Twitch
streamed on
channel
this
either.
channel before.
Yes, because it used to be my personal.
Mm.
Yeah, I cloudy
Well,
stream.
Why would we stream when it's the Athos podcast channel?
Okay.
That is true. It used to be there was an Athos gaming channel, and I don't know, somebody locked it.
So, in your guys' opinions, biggest draft busts of the past 5 years?
I don't pay
biggest
attention.
draft-
I don't really pay
All right,
attention.
let's
to
start.
draft
Let's start with. Let's just start with the
last
most.
5 years.
Let's just start with the most recent year to make it a little bit easier because 5 years was a little bit too long because
can't
I
really
can't
make-
remember who
You
really the draft picks were
Yeah.
more than 2 years ago.
But-
I can barely remember last year's draft picks.
You only
I mean,
remember
2
the ones
years,
that
you can't-
succeeded.
Off 2 years, you can't really determine if somebody's a bust unless they get a career-ending injury. when
No,
they're just not
when I say
playing.
bust, I mean they were so hyped up to come start in the NFL,
Josh
Trevor.
and then they shit the
Josh
fucking bed.
Rosen.
Josh Rosen, 100%,
Oh, yeah.
number one pick in the
Yeah.
fucking draft.
I would
I'm gonna
have
say
to
you-
agree with
we're
Trevor
gonna win this
Lawrence
Super-
though.
We're gonna win this. He's not a bust.
No.
He had 1 year with the Jacksonville Jaguars, dog. How's he a bust?
You
He
can't-
was
yeah,
so
you
hyped
can't-
up to come in, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's gonna be
He's not
slinging
a
it."
bust to me. He was.
He,
Eh.
You can't really bust him.
He tried his
for
best
a
to sling it.
year. Like
That's my
Mitchell
thing is,
Trubisky,
like-
you could ultimately say he's a bust because he's had several years to try to establish.
He's
not
sitting
even
on a
a
bench as
starter.
a second
Yeah.
stringer now.
But if you're
Exactly.
talking about Jacksonville had a rookie head coach who lost his job in the season, and they're still
Yeah.
not the worst record in the NFL.
No,
You're right. That's
But
not fair to
ultimately,
judge him off 1 year.
it's not fair to judge
And
him
don't
on
get me
that.
wrong, like the dude made some fucking nice throws. You can see that he's if
He
he's
has
getting on,
also-
if he
He has also played some really bad. throws.
Greg says
Oh,
Johnny
100%.
Manziel.
He said 5 years, homie.
5 years. Was
Yeah, Johnny
RG3
Manziel.
drafted within 5 years?
2012.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
no,
son, that
damn,
was so
fuck.
long ago.
Yeah, that was a
Yep.
big
So
bust
long
for
ago.
me.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about biggest bust periods, Ryan Leaf. Like worst
Jamarcus
choice
Russell?
ever. No, it doesn't even compare. Doesn't even
He was
compare.
no, he was what, number 1 or number 2?
Ryan Leaf was number 1.
I'm saying Jamarcus Russell.
No, he was in the first round though. He was number 1.
Did you hear what they did to Jamarcus Russell? What they did, what the coaches did to him to see if he was reading his playbook?
Oh, they were giving him blank tapes.
No, they gave him a box full of game film, right? Not a single game on any of the fucking VCR or the VHSs, right? He comes in, the coach asks him, "Hey, did you watch all those tapes?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm good to go." And at that point, they're like, "Yeah, we fucked up."
Christian Heckenberg.
Christian Heck, Jesus fuck. I don't even consider that a bust. He didn't even get a chance. His claim to fame was a first-round draft pick that never played.
I just don't like him because he played at Penn State.
You don't like a lot of people because of where they played.
You're right. But I mean, you could also argue
Rashad Penny.
fucking,
It's a bust,
No,
dude. He's
dude,
blowing
he-
up right now.
Dude, his
Yeah,
last
he is.
5 weeks of
Seattle's
the
running
season,
back.
go look at those stats there, Greg.
Paxton Lynch.
He's just
He hasn't had a chance to play, really.
Hold
He
on.
played like 3 games in Denver
Let me-
and was
let me
literally in a
pull out the
QB
list.
rotation, dog.
Let me pull out the list we made from the beginning of the season and see if any of our picks for Rookie of the Years are
Nope,
busts.
none of them. Well, oh, bust? It's all you're asking players who had their first year. That's not really a fair assessment. Now you're talking a couple, like give them 4 or 5
I'm
years.
more talking about the ones that actually played this season. Because I know my pick did not play much at all until the end of the season. But I got
You
to
consider him a
find.
bust?
All right, we'll go to 2017, Sam. I'm just gonna go
All
to
right, here we
2017 as a. So from 2017, Mitchell Trubisky bust.
Patrick Surtain.
Dude's a dog.
Oh,
Okay. Rashad Weaver.
Don't know who the fuck that is.
So DJ's 1 for 2. 1 for 2 so far. Justin Fields.
Yikes.
Kyle Pitts.
Double yikes.
DJ's 1 for 4 on his
wait,
picks
hold
on
up, hold up.
who he thought was
Alright.
going to be good.
So
Pitts has
Rashad.
been doing pretty decent.
So who all did I pick?
Rashad Weaver, Patrick
So
Surtain.
Rashad Weaver plays on a team.
Dwayne
that's
Haskins.
first in the AFC. Right? So Rashad Weaver plays for Tennessee, outside linebacker. He is out for the rest of the season for an injury. But
Still doing the biggest bust conversation?
Yes, but I wanted to mix in
He had-
our rookie picks of the year to see if they've actually done anything, or are we going to consider them busts for this year? Like they didn't get
Yeah,
much play
so-
time, they didn't show out much, or they got injured.
John Ross, DJ.
so Rashad Weaver, hold up, Rashad Weaver got hurt. He's on IR as of September 28th, okay? So that one should be no fault.
Yeah, we don't count that one. Patrick Surtain though, good pick.
Dog.
Dog. Justin Fields, Kyle Pitts. Let's give him another year.
I say Kyle Pitts has been showing up that well. It's just Atlanta's offense doesn't have anything else, so they've been
He's
keying
got
on him.
some.
Well,
He
wait,
started
no, no, no.
out he started out strong, and then
Wait,
they
wait,
started
hold up.
keying up on him, and then he
Hold up.
kind of flopped mid-season, and then
Six-
second part of the season he kind of resurged.
All right, he played 17 games, 68 receptions, over 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
He did well.
With a shitty team.
Yeah.
yeah.
Not all their
He only
team was
had one- He
shitty.
only had one touchdown,
Not-
but then again, did
their
Julio
whole
Jones
team is
score a
not
lot of
shitty,
touchdowns?
okay?
But then again, yeah, if you look who was throwing to him,
How long did it take Kyle Pitts
Cor-
to get his
I
first
gotta say-
touchdown?
Cordell Patterson kept my fantasy team afloat.
exactly. Like Cordell
he got-
Patterson is the reason why he only had
He
like
got,
one
he got his
touchdown.
Yeah.
first touchdown in a game where he had 10 targets, 9 receptions, 119 yards.
What
but
week was that?
week 5,
The fuck you
But
doing
then-
just that? Jesus.
but dude, Kyle Pitts had a game with 163 yards and 0 touchdowns. So I say, dog.
Yeah, I'd say he did
Dog.
really well.
As
Not
a tight end rookie
So
campaign.
two for 4,
On a
not
run
bad.
first
How
offense?
often did you see him lined up next to a fucking tackle and going out for a pass? You tell me that.
I mean, he was averaging about 6 to 7 targets a game,
Yeah, from the
Yeah,
slot
he-
position, I'm willing to bet.
probably. Well, then
100%.
Calvin Ridley had that whole head thing. He was gone too. So someone's got to line up. But regardless, okay. So I had Kyle Pitts, and then I had Justin Fields, though.
Play a quarterback on a bad team.
I mean, they're not.
I'd say he did all. I don't know.
We'll
He
see,
did all
we'll
right
see. We'll go
fantasy
with-
wise,
we'll go with
but
stats. He only played 12 games, threw 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, had 1,900 yards. Yeah,
I'd say that's
No.
average.
it's okay. If you look
Yeah.
at the other QBs from that draft class, they're all about the fucking same.
Yep.
Do I think that he'll be like long term for Chicago? Maybe. They fired
I
Matt
don't
Nagy.
think so.
So
Matt
we'll
Nagy's
see.
gone
He
now.
might.
That's what I'm saying. They fired him
Yeah.
and the GM.
Well, as long as the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach stay the same, it doesn't really make a difference for Justin Fields.
That's what I'm saying. Just in general, I think maybe the team might finally go in a different direction.
The way the NFL is now, when you fire a head coach, odds are the rest of the fucking staff's going to.
Maybe. All right. So
I don't know about that.
We'll say
A
I
lot
did
of the times,
two-
that's how it's been.
We'll say I did 50%. I'll say Justin Fields was eh. I'm not gonna
Because
say he was great, but I'll say I
When a
did
coach gets signed now, they're told to like bring in their own coaching staff. So literally, the guys they bring in are the ones they bring with them.
Well,
And
a lot of the coaches that were
smoking, dude. Tua went 7 games in a row. You fucking moron.
Tua Tagovailoa.
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 Like a
he's
vanilla.
also too early to say how bad he is, but yes, Dwayne
Jalen
Haskins,
Waddle.
Josh
All right.
Rosen.
Jalen Waddle. Dog.
So let's get to Danny's picks from the beginning of the year.
Let's go, son. Bunch of trash cans.
Quiddy Pay.
He's pretty good.
He's
He's
okay.
pretty good. Yeah, he's
Wait,
not
let's-
bad.
Let's
He's
hold on.
playing.
So that's
Let's
one
get
so
some
far.
stats. Who is it?
Jamin Davis.
Garbage
No,
season.
terrible.
Garbage
Worst-
season.
Time out. Time out.
Garbage
You
season for the
playing in the
whole
right
team.
position.
cannot call him a bust, though.
Because he's barely
He's a
played.
bust.
Yeah, he barely played. And let's be real here. The defense he was playing on was not up to speed.
No. Our defense fell apart.
How do you expect the rookie to be up to speed when the whole defense that's been there for a while is not up to speed?
All right, so Quiddy Pay, 1 forced fumble, 16 solo tackles, 4 sacks, only played 15 games.
I mean, that's
So that's not bad for 15
not
games.
bad. Is he a D end or D tackle?
That's like-
He is a defensive end for the Colts.
A defensive end.
3-4?
What?
Or do Colts run a 3-4 or a 4-3?
I have fucking no idea. I don't look.
Yo,
at
that's the difference between an end and an edge rusher.
Gatorade
I'm
almost
just saying
went
that he's-
everywhere again.
He's just a. It just marks him as a defensive end.
Okay, then they run 4-3 or 3-4.
All right, then for
There's
offense, he
Two
had
different
Zach
formations.
Wilson.
Hey, hey, he's on a bad team, all right? And timeout. Didn't the Jets garbage can a good team this year?
Yeah,
but
I'd,
they had dude throw historical numbers.
And to round off
Same,
Danny's picks, Devontae Smith.
Okay, Devontae Smith's a fucking dog.
I thought he was gonna do a lot.
So
Better.
so far, both of you are
But-
2 for 4 on your beginning picks. Let's see how well I did.
Wait, let's see what Devontae Smith did.
I'm just surprised he even survived the year. To be
Devontae
honest with you.
Smith, as 17 games played, he had less in every category except for touchdowns than Kyle Pitts. So that's what I mean. But rookie campaign, and not everybody was gonna be Jamar Chase.
All right, you guys ready for my picks?
Not everyone can call their shots before the season saying, I'm going to break every Bengals receiving record, and then goes and does it.
He had an extra game, regardless.
Okay,
but
so did Cooper Cup.
you're right.
All right, I
It
had
doesn't matter though, because they used to have a 14-game season. Used to have a 12-game season.
You know what's wild, though? If you look at it, the fact that there was not a 11,000 yard, or there was only one like 11,000 or 1,200 yard rusher or some shit this year, and everybody else was like they weren't good, like crazy numbers, you know, that we
No,
had.
they
in past
would.
years.
They would have been had Derrick Henry knock out.
Which is weird because the fact that you figure, okay, since
Maybe he was.
The
He was
running
on
backs-
a silly pace.
say the running backs are fucking dropping, like they're not running, the league's not running the ball as much, they're starting to pass the ball more.
It's just transition like it does.
Yeah.
It rotated from a run heavy game to a throw heavy game, and then it transitioned to run heavy, and now it's going back to throw heavy.
Yep.
All right, Sam, where were you at? So me
So-
and Danny were 2-2. But you picked the third string fucking running back, so you're already 0 for 1.
Yeah.
Paulson
Jared Patterson.
Adebo.
Who?
Paulson Adebo.
0 for 2.
Greg Newsome the second.
I think he played. No, he played some.
I don't know how well he did.
Look it up. I remember hearing his name come up.
Greg Newsome, the cornerback for the Browns.
Oh, he had to have played.
You talking about the guy who had? Oh wait, hold up here. You might be onto something. This guy might be okay.
I know at least some of my picks were okay.
Where's the?
Because I know one name that was brought up multiple times throughout the fantasy. Don't know. He had his off games though. I'll say that.
All right, so he had 12 games played, 11 games started. They gave him a average or approximate value of a 3.
Out of what? 10?
Well, we'll just say that Kyle Pitts was higher. No,
Alright.
I mean, so he had. It looks like he had 37 tackles, 33 solo, 3 assists, no picks, no fumbles, 9 pass defended.
It's not bad.
I'd say that's actually pretty
I
decent.
mean, I think rookie. I don't know where he's at in the depth chart, so I couldn't say.
Right,
Like,
I don't-
It says that he only started 12 games.
I was about to
though.
say I don't think he's their primary
That's
starter.
still
I think
almost 3
their primary
tackles a
starter
game.
was
That's
out.
still, I'd still say it's still pretty
Okay,
solid.
so I got one so far.
I'd say 3 tackles a game is a pretty
Then
solid
I had
average.
Jarrett Patterson, which
Wait.
I'm gonna say when he played
Doesn't
fucking well.
matter. he didn't have I don't think he had enough body of work to say that he had a good rookie campaign.
He didn't. He had probably like
But-
20 or 30 carries this year.
If he would have been used consistently, I feel like he would have been a well-used weapon for Washington.
Really?
I don't think
Jared-
he'll ever be. I think what's gonna happen is he's gonna play out his rookie deal and he's gonna go somewhere else and get a big deal because literally Washington has two very capable running backs that take up the passing and catching and running.
That's if Gibson can stay healthy.
True.
All right, so
With Gibson the way he was this season, I don't know if they're gonna get rid of
We have Williams. I don't know who the
I'll
fuck
put-
guy is.
that dude's off some fucking practice squad.
So here, I'll give you the numbers. So there were
Packets him.
Yeah,
17 games that he played in, did not start any of them. 3
Nope.
games he didn't get a single touch. 5 games he got 2 or less. So you're
Yeah,
thinking
he was
out of
barely used, but when he was used, I want to say he got
his-
some
his-
yardage.
his most used was 12 rush attempts for 57 yards. His average is 3.9, 2 touchdowns, 266 yards.
Or
I-
3.9 is not bad.
For
It's
how many
not-
games? What, 6
68 rushes.
out of 6 games? And
No. 68 out of 17. He only got 3 games with no touches at all.
so he played all 17 games.
He lined up on snaps. in all
Got you,
17 games.
but didn't touch the ball because of
Right.
Gibson McKissick.
And he was used more in the pass game in several games. Like he lined
Yeah.
up on shotgun formations and stuff.
Okay,
But,
so
I mean, yeah, like games that he had no touches, he
give
lined
him,
up.
I say
14
give him
times.
another year or two, maybe on a different team.
Oh, yeah,
if
I'm not
Washington
saying
doesn't
he's-
keep
I'm
him.
not
So
saying
he was
he's
more of just a pass blocking
I'm not
back
saying he's
then.
I'm not saying he's
Well,
a
yeah,
bust. I'm
because
just saying that
his
he doesn't have enough
position
work to
was
say he had a good
filled
year.
3 people deep when he showed up to Washington and got that position.
Well, he
Alright,
might
so
have been the best
who-
pass blocker out of the group too.
Yeah.
So who all did you say? You said.
And then my
Newsom-
last one,
yeah,
it was
Newsom solid.
Adebo, Newsom, and then Patterson. My last one is Jalen Waddle.
Oh, dog.
So-
He was
so-
dancing
Yeah.
feet.
All 3 of us, 2 for 4. Not bad. One from
Well,
defense, one from offense.
yeah.
Waddle
pretty much.
broke the record for most receptions for a rookie receiver.
Yeah, I mean,
So we're 50 and
Then again-
50 at picking decent rookies, guys.
I
You know?
just like how nobody took the obvious one.
Who?
Jamar
Because
Chase.
nobody wanted to take the risk on if old Bengals QB over there was
Yeah.
going to be good to go.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't think Joe Burrows was going to come and just fall out.
Wow.
Like that's almost comparable to I want to say it's close to what Adrian Peterson did. Literally the
Yeah.
next year coming back and doing
Comeback
what
player
he's
of the year.
doing.
Oh
is
yeah, I
fucking
mean,
insane.
Joe Burrows had a hell of a year. I didn't think that he was.
Not even the fact that he never even had a full first year in the league and he's doing it.
He's good. That's
No, Joe is only saying that because he knows he graduated from Ohio State. That's why he's so good.
he did get a degree from the Ohio State University, but
DJ, I got a question for you.
he is a good.
How many NFL stars or athletes right now would you consider came from Ohio State that didn't actually come from Ohio State?
So you're saying that went there and then
There's a lot,
transferred out?
but if we want to be correct here, I think Justin Fields got his degree from Georgia, and he left
That's the
because
one I
someone
was
called him-
wanting you to bring up
because
again.
He left because someone called him the N-word. That's why
not
he
funny.
rolled out. One of the fans in the game was yelling at him, said that shit from the stands. He was like, "I'm
How
out."
the fuck did my seat go down?
Oh, that's so fucked up,
Why don't you close out your camera, Danny?
No, no reason.
Who's your guys' vote for rookie of the year then?
It was out of those 4. Those were our picks. We picked them at the beginning of the year.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I mean at this point
Who do you-
now,
yeah.
who would your vote be for
Rookie-
rookie?
Jalen Waddle.
Wait, offense or defense?
Offense for me.
They have an offensive rookie and a defensive rookie.
Defense.
Okay,
Defense, I'll go ahead and say it's between Trayvon
Well,
Diggs and Michael Parsons.
the
Straight out the gate.
overall rookie of the year, like the top 6.
And I want to say
finalists
one of
are-
us was close to picking Micah
Jamar
Parsons at the
Chase.
beginning of the
They
year.
don't give a straight out rookie of the year. It's offensive. and
What the
defensive.
fuck is going on with this
Or
chair?
They give
Well,
the
it's
MVP
right here.
for
It's the
best player in
Pepsi
the
Zero
league.
Sugar NFL Rookie of the Year. They have
I
a
have no
Rookie of the Year
It's
award.
going to be two of them. It's literally going to be an offensive and a defensive
rookie and
player.
an offensive
Well,
player.
this one,
year.
the top 6 players are like they have Micah Parsons as one of the.
It's going to be Micah Parsons and
100%.
watch Trayvon, or it's going to be Micah Parsons or Trayvon Diggs, one or the other.
The fucked up thing is Micah Parsons was somebody's choice at the beginning of the year, and they dropped him and picked up somebody else.
I think it was me. It was either me or DJ, I think.
It
I
might- it might
remember
just
that
be-
specifically because there was a whole 15-minute conversation about Micah Parsons.
So, yeah, right now, Micah Parsons is the front runner for defense. Patrick Surtain is right behind him.
Really?
Yes,
Not bad.
because your boy Trayvon Diggs is not in his first year.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
My choice for offense would have to be Jalen Waddle,
This is your
Jamar
first
Chase.
year starting.
just because I'm going to stick with my choice from the beginning of the year.
Oh, it looks like it's
I
a.
thought he was a rookie because it was his first year starting.
Yeah,
he
it looks like-
and he also has the number.
Look up
outside
who's
quarterback.
LSU Bengals helmet.
It's pretty good. I've seen it.
Joe Burrows.
Oh. Someone want to bring that up real quick? I'm trying to see it.
Well, I mean, I guess it could be Burrows. It could be Jamar Chase's. It could be.
Damn, that first question lasted a long time.
But yeah, no, I think for offensive rookie would be Jamar Chase because he broke the receiving record.
All right.
But I think
So
yeah,
we're-
I'll say Jamar Chase because of the receiving record, and they made it to the playoffs.
I'm going to have to stick with Jalen Waddle just because that was my choice from the beginning, and I don't necessarily know
Oh, yeah,
who's
I
in the
mean,
running
I'm not-
currently.
Yeah, right now it looked like for betting odds, Micah Parsons is minus 2,500, and then Patrick Surtain is plus 1,000, and then after that it gets out of control.
God damn, he's
They
up
have,
there
yeah.
by a bit.
They
Fuck.
have a lot, like a Pepsi Rookie of the Year this year. So I think it's just like
yeah, see, I've never seen
Super
that
Bowl,
unless that's
yeah.
like an outside award.
I think it might be a super, like one of those
Oh.
Super Bowl week awards
What's
that
that,
they're
like
handing
the-
out.
Like the
Listen.
Player Association Rookie of the Year one is the one that they hand out, and offensive and defensive for rookies.
It's like I know obviously
Yeah.
like the offensive and rookie or
Yeah,
offensive.
if I had
and
to say
defensive
like
is
just
a
straight
thing.
out rookie, I'm still stuck between it might depend on playoff run if Michael Parsons does a lot on defense through the playoffs versus Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I think
balling
those
out.
numbers are going to drastically change just based off of this weekend's games.
So, y'all want to hear a crazy stat? Half of the NFL playoff bracket didn't make it in 2020.
Yeah, 100%.
At least 4 new teams have made the playoffs for 32 straight years. So there's
Yeah.
always 4 new, which doesn't seem like it, honestly.
No, it seems like the same motherfuckers every year.
Honestly, probably because of some of the divisions where the race is tighter, that the divisional winner rotates frequently.
Okay,
It's a very tight race.
The
this
only
year.
one like that is only so dominant was literally
There are also 2 extra playoff slots this year too.
that is true.
all right, boys. Next question. Who, in your opinion, would be the current best coach in the NFL?
Hoodie Belichick.
Yeah,
Belichick?
Belichick.
they're-
I'm pretty sure we're all agreed on that because he
the
took a
only-
rookie QB and has done well.
Well, the fact is that
a
they
lot of
didn't make the
people do
playoffs
that.
last year without Tom Brady, but then they're back with a system quarterback. But
Yep.
I only say that because of longevity and body of work. You could say Mike Tomlin as well because all they
Yeah.
Tomlin has never,
From the Steelers?
never had a losing season.
he's never had a losing season. So that's also another person I'd put in that category. Or if you want to take it another step further and you go and you look at what Mike Vrabel has done for Tennessee, he comes from the Bill Belichick school of Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
So it's literally brings it over here.
So
Tennessee
basically, the
went
way you
from
just
losing
broke
the
it down,
division
you
to-
set it up as a pyramid. You got Bill Belichick at the top.
Absolutely.
You got Mike Tomlin, another dude. I can't remember his name. You just said it
Well, I
too.
put Mike Tomlin. I put Mike Vrabel below him just because he's not as
So
established.
top
but-
3. Yeah.
Yeah, top 3 of the
but what he
pyramid.
But what he did in what he
Illuminati.
did in Tennessee is took them from not
Well,
making the
what
playoffs.
about
shitty team. I would
offensive
say
line?
like what from Green Bay But then again, I don't really think that's a head coach thing over there winning. I think that's
What
Aaron
about-
Rodgers.
Bill Belichick is the Greg Popovich of NFL.
Where would you rate like Andy Reid or?
And Andy Reid's another one that's up there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put him
Dude,
as like
that's sick.
as number one, but I mean
That is
he's
fucking
definitely,
Oh yeah,
Sick.
I mean yeah, the top three are you can't really change the
I mean,
top.
That helmet's
honestly,
dope
the
as fuck.
Third one, like I would move Mike Vrabel for someone like Andy Reid. If
It's
it
better
was,
than the
like,
Horn Toads,
if it was,
TCU
like,
Horn
brought
Toads
up in
helmet,
a good
and I liked
scenario,
their helmet
obviously,
for a while.
Obviously, Andy Reid has Super Bowl wins.
Yep.
Mike Vrabel has Super Bowl rings just as a player. So it's one of
And
those.
then
but
also, because Andy Reid has been solid
Yeah,
because
you
he
see the
took the
helmet?
Eagles quite a ways, did a pretty good job, and then now he's like Kansas City, like he's won Super Bowls with two separate teams.
Well, yeah, and literally the team that he has in Kansas City has gone to what 3 straight AFC Championship games.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, like he has literally a fucking dynasty over there, and then you have whatever's going on in Green Bay. But literally every other fucking team is like a revolving door because you just saw what happened to the Houston Texans coach. Came in there making 22 mil to go
Year
forward,
one.
and whatever, and got fired for just taking the hit.
I mean,
Now,
how-
speaking of coaches,
Yeah.
now would you put a coach that came into a shit organization and turned that organization around and developed it a lot better as a top tier coach?
Yes.
Absolutely, I would say if you want to go ahead and say, I would say if Ron
That is-
Rivera
that
turns
is-
I was about to say
If-
Ron Rivera honestly would have to make my top 5
That is a highly difficult thing to do in the NFL is
If he
turn a
took-
franchise around.
because last season he turned Washington team
No.
around.
Ron Rivera has literally almost no winning seasons except for like one out of any team he's coached.
Well, he
And it
did
was that
bring
one
like
year- it was
him
just
and
that one-
Newton.
But hasn't he also
Yeah.
been going
Yeah.
getting jobs at shit dick teams and been tasked with trying to make them
Well, he
winners?
came from Carolina to Washington, but yeah, like if he turns that program around, either A, as far as like their mentality and how they handle the organization, and then actually build the team up. So say if he turns them 1-2 years, whatever, into like a winning franchise, I would say that he would be in a top conversation on best coaches in the NFL. But as long as Bill Belichick's there ain't anybody that's
No
even
one's
in the
taking
same
number 1.
The
No.
problem with that is like every team runs like their front house differently. Like the head coach does more in some places than other. Like a lot of places,
So,
a lot of like the
all-
big decisions are made by like the GM and the owner.
Yeah, like,
All I'm
well,
gonna
except for
say
Houston when
is-
Bill O'Brien was the head coach and the
Yeah.
GM.
You guys seen that Tom Brady documentary that's been getting put out.
I've seen
No,
bits
I
and
haven't-
pieces.
Apparently,
Are
he
you
talks
talking
shit
about
on Bill
where he
Belichick
shit
quite a
talks
bit.
No, he didn't shit talk Bill Belichick. I saw the video of it. He fucking was just like, yeah, we have a great working relationship.
Yeah.
He said, when you have two people that both want what's best for the team,
common
shit
goal.
works. Yeah, it's what's for the team, and they want to win. And he said, when you have that, it's an easy job.
Well, so the funny thing is like, so if you take what a lot of teams do in the NFL right now, they do the same thing that they do in soccer in Europe. They bring these coaches in for like either interims, they bring them in for 2 years, and if they're not
Ted,
changing the shit
Ted,
that quick,
Ted,
they're literally canceled.
Ted.
But the problem is that the coaches don't necessarily align with what the franchise sees or how they want to go about things. So if there's not like an agreement there, that's why if you look at some of the best teams in the NFL over history, like if you look at Green Bay, their coaches generally align with what the franchise is trying to do.
You can
Or
just
the
look at the Washington
Steelers-
franchise for the past 12 years.
Just look at the Steelers for their past 3 coaches. They literally come into that organization and the teams win. They're not doing a whole lot.
No, they're just
That's
continuing on what they already had.
That, right, like the franchise has, like, we have this mindset. This is what
Place
we're doing.
already.
Instead of like
Right.
Washington getting a new
Right.
coach and completely changing everything play style wise.
Well, it's the fact that they go and they draft whoever Dan Snyder wants to draft in the first round, and then it's like, okay,
Well, that's
you
what
need
it
make
used to
work
be.
with them.
Now he's not doing that.
Nah,
LeBron.
that's
Right,
how it
right, and
was,
hopefully it
Gruden.
changes.
Rivera
Oh, I
said
know,
the only,
I'm saying-
only way I'm coming there is if he's got full fucking reign.
Well, that's why they ended up. That's why he ended up bringing in those 2 other guys and come like, what is it, Mike Mayhawk and somebody
Mike
else.
Mayock,
The new GM.
Yeah, that's why
And,
they brought in those 2 guys.
who else was it?
because they're Dan Snyder's not a football person. He's a
No,
money person.
he's all about fucking money, and he destroys football.
What he needs to know to get money in the NFL, you have to win.
They
Yeah,
don't. They
Not
proved
necessarily.
that.
Look at was it
I understand you have to have a loyal fan base.
Yeah,
pretty
I
much.
mean, look at
That's it.
Detroit or look at the Browns. Those are two
All
of the
right,
most
timeout,
loyal
time-
All right, all I gotta
franchises
say,
I've had.
it's getting to a point where you gotta realize you're not making money when you're selling tickets for fucking $6 a ticket.
Washington New York Giants game.
That
Or
is
what about that-
absolutely absurd.
What's
What
the
about
thing with
that,
him is whether
Jaguars-
he's selling tickets to Redskins fans or Dallas fans.
Oh, he don't
fucking
care.
Money's money, but
Oh, he'll sell out the arena to every fucking Eagles fan if he wanted to. And that's
Okay,
pretty much
where's
what
that?
happens anyways.
What were you saying, Fox?
Or what about the I heard like tickets for like that home Jaguars game versus Indianapolis Colts were like down to like $20 for like home stadium
I
tickets,
wonder-
and then you pay $20 to watch them fucking shut the Colts out of the playoff.
Dude, that would have been an awesome game to watch. If you're a Jaguars fan.
That would have been that would have been. I mean, they've gone through a lot, so
Yeah.
they needed something.
And honestly,
Yeah, I
dude,
mean,
like
it's-
I
it's not-
might pull up another favorite NFL team and I might start going for the Cardinals.
If I had to
But-
choose,
Your
I
whisper
honestly- I'd
wasn't a
probably-
whisper because it didn't come through.
I know. Well, it was if it didn't come through. I said Tennessee.
I'd probably choose the Steelers. Honestly.
I already follow you on baseball. We got the A's.
That's true.
I
need to
gotta
pick
go
that- I
with
need to pick a basketball team.
I gotta go with where, kind of, I guess, besides Korea would be like my hometown, Phoenix.
Cardinals.
Yeah.
You had a guy that had in the history of the franchise that had more tackles than he had drop balls.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh,
I didn't even,
actually,
I didn't
speaking
even
of
need, I didn't even
old
need to hear the conversation. I just heard
Yeah.
more intercept or more tackles.
Speaking of old fucks, did you guys see who the Rams called to bring in, who has not played a snap in
Eric
2
Weddle.
years, to come play safety?
I don't know
Hey.
who that is.
You
So
think he can still move? Yeah, maybe.
yeah,
Alright,
so he
well,
played
play.
safety. A lot of his career was at the Chargers, and then he moved to the Ravens. He's like he was this white dude that played free safety, and he was like a 7-time Pro Bowler. I mean, he's good.
What was his name again?
Eric Weddle. I mean, he's good. for
One of the very few white safeties in the league.
I know. That's what I was thinking. Like, I probably would have heard of him, but
He also had a beard.
Yeah, along with the Redskins or the Washington football team's Troy Apke.
Yeah, but they were two different.
well, there is
Yes.
I
One
would take-
just
I would
one
take-
passed.
Harrison
take
Smith
Weddle.
for the Vikings.
I would take Weddle any day of the week over Troy Apke, but Troy Apke runs a 4.340.
That's true. I don't know what Eric Weddle runs right now. He hasn't. I mean, I'm sure he runs every day. Honestly, him. Like he's probably in good shape.
I don't know how much he runs, but I'm sure he runs every day.
Facility just
I mean,
fucking
'cause
pumping iron in
literally,
there.
it's only been 2 years since he last took a snap.
Oh,
That's not
I
too
don't know.
bad.
Look at Andrew Luck, dog. Did you see? He's getting memed. He's
Dude.
getting memed hard.
Dog,
He looks twice
he-
as old as he is.
He looks like
He
he's on
also
fucking
is
meth.
China-doll. Dude, he spent half his career broken.
He
Yeah.
looks like he's on fucking
I mean,
meth.
It's different when you're not shot up with.
He
cortisone
looks
and
like the
half-
great value Uncle Rico.
Pretty much, yeah.
Straight up.
Good assessment.
But,
So,
Like,
let's just-
He
let's
could
just
throw
say-
that football over them mountains over there. Jesus Christ, bro.
yeah, he looks. Really
That is a
good.
bad 10-year challenge.
It was it's not even 10 years.
Mm.
That's the problem.
This is what drugs do to you kids.
He stopped playing in
Don't
2018.
make
Jack.
Andrew look a drug addict. He's not a druggie.
He
like
looks
5
like it,
years.
dog.
Just-
He,
I don't know,
was-
Brett.
If it-
Brett
if
Favre
it-
was on fucking
okay.
pain pills.
Danny,
for 10
he
years
looks
after.
he looks like he hangs out at the 7-Eleven in Marshall.
If it wasn't for the mustache, it would be so bad. But that fucking mustache is aging him like 10 years
yeah,
plus.
looks
He
terrible
looks like
for playing in
Jacob
2018.
from next door, older.
It's a good thing no one called him to come play. Jesus fuck.
He's probably so fucked up that he doesn't even want
No,
to play.
like, have you seen the Brett Favre interviews when they ask him like,
Yeah.
about life after football, where he's like, "Yeah, I was addicted to pain pills for like 2 years."
He was addicted to pain pills during his career as well.
Oh yeah, dude, he was popping like 20 of them fuckers a day.
Because I can't remember what year, but he was in like a nasty car accident. He ended up getting hospitalized and put on like narcotics, and he just became addicted to them
He's,
to the point
he's
where
still like the best quarterback.
All right, boys. These next few questions, we're gonna have to roll through them quick because
Just saying, that
we've tangent hard as fuck.
A lot of interceptions.
I did a whole school report on Brett Favre because, like I said, he was my favorite player growing up.
Fuck it, Sam. Let's make this an extendy episode.
All right, boys. Could the best college team beat any NFL team?
Absolutely.
100%. You're telling me that fucking Georgia or Alabama couldn't go play an NFL team right now?
Yes.
I'd say they could
Dog
be,
show them.
I
I
think
say
they could be
dog show.
I think they could be competable, but I don't think that they could.
You think the Jaguars will run game on them?
Yes.
Fox was about to say something and stopped.
Who do you think?
I mean,
who do you think Alabama or Georgia could beat in the NFL right now?
You can straight up
Washington.
tell me I'm wrong, but if you look at their team,
We don't have a
how many
quarterback.
players
Because
are going to
pretty
play
much
in
our
the NFL?
defensive line is Alabama,
No, it's not.
or where was it?
Chase
Side.
Young went to the
Hey.
Ohio State University. Either way, though. Either way.
Always comes
How
back to
many
Ohio
players?
State.
Who do
How
you
many,
think they could beat
how many
them?
players do you think from Alabama are going to play as starters in the NFL?
That doesn't
How-
matter when you're playing
it
them
does.
one-on-one versus a NFL team, though. Like whether
It
they
does-
make it or
it
not,
does
the
in a
fact that they
sense,
play.
All right, let me
You're
change up
talking
this question a
about-
little bit.
in a game.
College rules.
So no, time out. Can I ask?
Oh, you're
this
talking about
question?
them getting 1 foot in the end zone? Or 1 foot in
NFL's
bounds?
dog shitting them. NFL's putting a fucking like a circus on at that point.
So my point though is that if you're
But-
to say, I still don't think that it's going to be that good. Like if you're talking,
I
about, okay, we
think
go
that's
back,
like
Georgia played
fucking-
Detroit. If you're saying
Well-
like, okay, you want the best team in college football, or like, so who won the college
No.
football playoffs?
DJ, I
Play
was gonna
against-
make this analogy, high school versus middle schoolers, but we've both proven that because
Honestly,
we
I
both
think
played
Detroit's a better team
against
than the Jaguars are.
older kids. You in hockey, me in soccer, and that really didn't matter.
I mean, you're talking about kids that are either you're talking freshmen, sophomores,
You're talking
juniors,
kids that could
whatever.
just be playing football for fun and not really even trying.
That's my
Like,
point. You're talking about kids that are getting just a free
That
ride to
aren't-
college
that
that aren't
aren't
going to
committed yet.
play once they're done. Like, yeah, you
You're-
have a lot of athletes.
you're talking
You're
like
talking about playing against professionals. I think in any sport that you put that to, it's not going to work.
I don't
out.
know. In some games, these professionals play like they're in fucking high school.
You're
no,
right.
time out. So you said you think they could beat an NFL team, right?
I think the best college
It'll be
team can be.
competitive?
I think it
worse
would be
NFL
an enjoyable game.
Yeah. Who do you think they could beat? Who's the worst NFL team?
I think they could beat the Jaguars.
Who's got the three and
honestly.
who's got that 3-11 record
I think they could beat the
or
Jets.
3-12?
On a bad week, I think they beat the Jets.
I think it takes a lot to be in their favor that they play.
I think the Jets are better than the Jaguars.
I still don't think that Alabama or Georgia could beat either of them, in my opinion.
Combined.
Why?
I don't think
Combined.
Ohio State could beat
Super
any.
team. Super team.
But why do
Alabama,
you say
Georgia,
they can't?
For the exact reason why I explained. You're talking about playing professional athletes versus kids. You're
Yeah,
talking
that
about them
aren't
playing
really-
grown-ass men who literally do this for a job.
Yeah, 'cause-
there aren't just
like
2
yes,
year
they're-
Yeah, 'cause I will say
vet
A
in that.
college soccer team is not gonna beat a professional soccer team.
Well, because the fact is that the ones that are actually good enough just go there anyway.
Exactly.
But
You're
the
telling
thing
me
is,
what-
basketball, I think, would be the only one that you could have an argument that could go either way. But that is a very iffy
high school
one. because
high school
You
players
have,
are
a lot,
playing.
you have a lot of one and dones or whatever it may be. So that one I think is a little bit different. But you're talking about
These are 6
people
months
that are
to themselves a
that are
professional
still
and go to the NBA.
growing and getting used to playing whatever. Because high school is definitely a different ballgame than college. So there's
Oh,
no way that
100%.
you can say that the game would translate as well. Because there's players that are big dick on campus in college.
And the size
then go
difference
straight to
is
the pros and they
absurd.
suck.
And
When you look at high school
and
versus
just
college.
like the
I
play
think the
style
highest
too.
ranked, the
Play
highest
style is
ranked high
completely
school
different as
team
well.
in America in high school football could be competable against D1 teams.
Yeah, low shit D1 teams, and that's I would
Maybe.
think that's possible.
Maybe. If you look at the size difference of
At
high
high-
school
high-
football teams compared to college football teams, there is a huge size difference between those.
Then you got to look at schools like IMG.
Which might
That's
as
the
well be
thing.
a
It's
college.
very high school is very regional. Like, holy fuck, does regional make a huge
High
difference in
school
Yes.
kids
football?
might as well be. Those are high school kids playing with grown ass men at that point.
Well, they
Pretty
did play
much.
Assman.
That's what
and
I'm saying, dog.
That actually happened, but I just don't see it in most sports. Maybe like a one-on-one sport like tennis. That's absolutely possible.
Yeah, possible.
Well,
Ping
you
pong?
gotta think,
Possible.
What was that? What happened? That one girl, didn't that fucking one young girl fucking
You're talking about that like
Naomi
16-year-old beat.
Osaka or Naomi?
Okay.
The fucking
You're talking about
Japanese girl. That fucking
Yeah, the young girl beat.
fucking
She won a U.S. Open or whatever.
I think she knocks.
Yeah,
Serena.
she beat Serena to win.
But yeah, so I don't think
Maybe,
just
I don't know. Don't quote
All
us on
right,
that. I'm not
so-
you're talking about players that have
Instagram Sports Center guy.
been perfecting their craft.
All
Whether
right.
their team sucks or not, I think is one thing or another. But I don't even think that
All
Alabama.
it is, all I'm saying is you could probably put Calais Campbell against the Alabama defensive line, and he's getting through it.
It might be possible for a college team to beat a
Or
NFL
offensive
team.
line.
Maybe. Highly
I wouldn't say
unlikely.
I wouldn't
but
say
maybe.
a NFL team because that's saying anyone.
Yeah,
I'd say
it's
the
like if you-
worst
if you
NFL.
say
The
team.
a
worst.
NFL
The
team,
worst
I
NFL
guarantee
team
you,
with
if you
some
the
of their
only-
secondaries
against
and their
Alabama,
third
he's
Yeah,
stringers.
that's the
Roll, they're not
only
gonna
way
get
there's an
back.
argument is if it's the worst NFL team of the year.
Okay.
Now,
But anything
if
beyond
you-
that, there's no chance.
Now, if you did take like the All-American roster, like the top kids in college,
Okay, now that's a
and put them on
different-
team, that's a whole different scenario because you're talking about an entire group.
But then you're
potentially-
playing. I thought about that, but then that means you're playing with a group of players who've never played with each other.
then that's the other thing is so you have
Yeah.
the chemistry aspect. If you're talking about guys that come into college, you only got
My-
3 years. You're
that's my
talking
question
guys
was
that
gonna
played
be.
together for 5,
That's-
6 years potentially.
That was my thing. Is like, okay, so what if you just say Alabama's playing a season, right? Throw a fucking the worst NFL team in their week 6. You think that makes a difference?
No, because didn't fucking Alabama almost lose to Ole Miss?
Not
They
yeah.
lost to a shitty college team.
Now that you think about
Didn't
it,
they lose
like
to Georgia? Or didn't
Well, no, Georgia lost as well. There was nobody.
Alabama beat Georgia in the SEC championship.
And all I'm
Yeah,
saying,
there was nobody
ex-
undefeated.
all I'm saying is you can't beat fucking
Except for Cincinnati.
experience.
All right,
Like,
you
okay,
think
yeah.
Cincinnati's college team could.
You're
go
talking
beat
about
somebody?
college kids who've only been playing for 20 years, if that. If that.
I mean, there's people that pick it up playing in high school.
And
They're
then
just
you're
freaks.
talking about professional
20 years is a
athletes who've been
long
playing
time.
their
There are
entire
college
most,
kids who aren't
most
even
of their
20 years
entire
old.
life
Bro, listen
Well,
to this
that's
shit.
that
and
gets
have
to the
played
point, though, is that
multiple
you got
games
19-year-olds.
in
Every
college
single-
and professionally. So
Well,
like you can't beat experience.
For the
Well-
NBA, listen to this, Sam. So Ricky Rubio got asked he's a Spanish player. I think he played in Spain, like in Spain's league first. He's been playing professional basketball since the age of 14.
There's a
And he said when his kids start to go to school, he's done with the NBA.
dude, there's a girl that's like 16 that's pitching in like an overseas semi-pro league. Some 16-year-old girls fucking slinging from the mound.
All right, boys. So the next question.
Now that
My
okay,
favorite
on the final
question I
note,
wanna talk to.
on the final note,
All right, final note.
I think now that I think about it, the worst NFL team looks like the worst team because they're playing against other NFL teams that are better. So the better NFL teams make them look like a bad team. They might not necessarily be a bad team.
Like I said, experience.
Well, just in general, is like, again, like as Fox was saying,
It's
like,
just two different levels of
Yeah.
gameplay.
you've got Detroit, who's
Definitely
has a shit
two-
record.
Two.
That's okay.
huge
Don't, I
levels
can't
of
say the
play.
record. I don't think they're the worst team this year.
Yeah, I mean,
The record
again,
doesn't show it
worst
because
team would probably be, in my opinion, would be between the Jets and the Jaguars.
I'd say
Well,
probably the Jaguars because the
you-
Jets have a better offense.
Houston has the weakest roster though.
But dude,
just-
they've look what they fucking did to some
Well,
of the
that's
better
what I'm
teams at the
saying.
end of the year.
All right.
Still, your coach.
Final notes. Not a high chance college is going to beat NFL.
I think it's
No.
minuscule.
Yeah, it's pretty minuscule.
So,
Dude, I mean, I
On
think
to the
they'd
question
have to
I've been
play, like,
excited
Big Ben
about.
would have to be behind the center on that one.
boys, should other sports allow one-on-one fights like hockey?
No.
Dude, I think they should. That would
No.
be so fucking dope.
Lacrosse does.
Kind of.
Kinda. If it's too rough, the refs will just say fuck it.
Yeah.
Cause then you'll never have a fucking a bench emptier ever again.
Dude, you're still gonna have bench emptiers.
They had
There's players in hockey still.
there was a
Yeah.
lacrosse fucking. They had a fucking bench clear brawl at Liberty's lacrosse game one year when I was.
I
at
think it
Liberty.
would be dope. I think all sports should at least take one season, give it a shot.
So my thing is like,
Bro,
we'll just
you know how many
say-
viewers would, how many kids would stop watching because of that, and how many parents would make
probably
their
parents
kids stop watching it?
But
It's like they're supposed to be like professional role models. Like they're not like.
So I guess Sam, let me ask you, how would you implement this? Because in hockey, it's very simple. Like
Yeah.
they have a penalty box. Lacrosse has a penalty box, right? How would you implement fighting? Say a wide receiver and a defensive back, a scuffle happens, they start fighting. What do you do in that scenario? Because now it goes from like a 10 or 15-yard penalty or whatever, unsportsmanlike, whatever it's going to be, to then what? Are you going to stand them on their sideline in a box somewhere?
Fuck yeah.
What you're gonna do? Say like Odell Beckham, Josh Norman, right? You're gonna get two kicking nets and put them together, and it's gonna make a cage, and that's what you put Odell Beckham in. Because you know he's not going to get
I
out.
just don't think it works.
Yeah, OBJ
with-
can't beat a net.
I don't think it works with many sports.
I think it would work for soccer.
Soccer, absolutely not, because they fucking bump each other and they act like it was a fucking gun.
That's because they're pussies.
Don't get me wrong, I love watching. I love soccer, but
I
when
love
it comes to
bowling
that
parties.
aspect,
They're the biggest fucking actors in the world.
again, though, you also talk about roster depth. So that changes the entire thing financially. You're talking about player quantities that you would
Hockey,
need.
like hockey,
Because
they
hockey,
plan
they
for that.
have-
They have an enforcer.
four offensive lines and 3 defensive lines and a backup goalie. So you're talking about if you get a player ejected because of something, at least they're fine. But I think players that obviously have an aggression issue, like if you looked at like a
So what's a
John
5-minute
Taylor.
penalty
If you
for
look
a
like
little
like
scuffle where you have to
Sergio
play a
Ramos-
man down?
if you look at like a Sergio Ramos,
Pull your
scenario,
goalie up.
right? But then the thing would be is like how it'd be weird to dictate
So
because
soccer
like,
fans are crazy, by the way.
soccer's so discretionary based.
They'll start shooting
Actually-
flares at people. If people start fighting like that shit, dog.
Right. That happened in fucking Italy.
One time.
And
One time?
Happens a lot.
Yeah, it happens a lot, dog.
It only happened one time where the player had to get carted off the field.
Yeah, because he had
You
32
got
burns. He
Yeah.
got
rocked in
fucking
the
hit with a
back of the
player.
fucking neck.
That shit was nutty. I remember watching that game.
Shit was absurd. I remember
Well, I
motherfucking
can't
players
imagine
getting hit with
what-
glass
what
bottles
was
from
that?
the stands.
Well, no, let me ask you a question, Sam.
What's up?
So, your first question in the podcast topics.
Oh Jesus.
So, I just want to know, outside of I already explained
The one
that
he
that
deleted.
exists,
Yeah,
But-
because
how would
my
how-
question was
like,
solved.
But what would you mean though for like an instant replay? Would you mean in like offside scenarios as well, or random fouls?
Offside scenarios, people taking falls on not actual fouls.
Because right now it's used to confirm goals and then penalties inside the box or within like the 20-yard mark.
Right.
So if you've ever seen a game and you see a referee and he goes,
He's looking for the video.
that means that it's going to video assisted. So every major league in the world has it, but it's not really used as like an offsides help as well because it would slow the pace of the game down.
Well, it's
Yeah, that's
that.
why like NFL, there are flags that aren't challengeable in the NFL. Like
I
if
think that's just more
somebody
time
goes-
saving.
Yeah, I
that's
think
what
it's
I'm
just
saying,
just rate of play.
Yeah.
'Cause he
At
eventually
that
gets a
point,
fucking
if they were to do that though, then there would be no extra time.
Not if Sir Ferguson was still fucking coaching. He's got his little stopwatch called Fergie time. I so
Okay,
love
well-
watching that dude argue with fucking referees.
The group doesn't agree with me.
Well, no, I will say though the funniest thing is that there was a game in fucking South America somewhere, or it might have been in
First off,
Spain.
baseball already has fights and they let them fucking fight and they get
Yeah.
ejected. It is what it is.
Listen to this, Danny.
Yeah, you can fight in any sport. It doesn't mean you're gonna,
Yeah,
get away
this
with
is
it.
true. You get ejected in baseball for fighting.
Same with football. Like you
Yeah.
throw one punch, you're out.
Well, you argue as the
That's what it
fucking
is.
manager in baseball, you get ejected. But so there was a VAR for something that happened in the box in South America or fucking Spain or something. It was some random league. They go to fucking look at it, and you know how they have those massive flags?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me why that this was blocking the fucking VAR camera. Like all you could see was the fucking corner spot kick. That's all you could see in the backside of the fucking stands. So they found
Has anyone tried to use the guy's hand lately? If you remember what that is, it's the behind the back handball or not
Oh, you're
into
talking
the
about
goal.
the hand of God?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about what Maradona did in the fucking World Cup where he fucking headed the ball? Had it
Yeah.
on his hand, smacked it in? No.
Hasn't been. I'm waiting
No,
for someone
no,
to
no.
try that shit again.
Well, no, they have fucking video cameras now. That was in like the 60s.
I know. I want to see it like slow motion done.
I mean, it
Yeah,
was.
you
There is a
called
video of it
not a
slowed
goal?
down, but it's shit quality.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's like
Yeah, it
no
was like-
good
no, it was
quality
like
of
the 80s.
it.
This is like the 80s when that happened because he was playing for Argentina.
All right, boys. Hypothetically, say you're in the MLB. Would you rather be known for being an amazing hitter? Like, you're a pinch hitter. Like, that's pretty much all you can do. Your fielding fucking sucks. Like, you don't have a position on the field. You're literally there to hit the fucking ball. Or,
Wait, can I ask a question before you ask the end of this?
sure.
I'd
How
rather
long
be
is
the
your-
latter.
How long is your career?
Doesn't matter.
10 years.
10 years. Okay.
10 years. All right. Or would you rather be known as an amazing pitcher, like one of the greats, like the next Shohei?
Pitcher,
I'd rather
hands
be
down.
fucking Roger Clemens.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
dog. I want to hit
Absolutely.
dingers.
I want to hit
The
dingers.
thing is-
I want
is
to
I
piss
think
on it.
Pitcher is my vote because like you
That
actually
one's
you
for you,
win
Dom.
and lose games as a pitcher. If you're the best pitcher, you're winning games and you're bringing teams to like championships. But
Yeah.
if you're a hitter.
Bottom of the ninth, though, bases are loaded, and he calls you up. He's like, "Hey, big boy, I
That's
need
not how it
you.
works.
I need you to
It's
do
not.
You're
things."
in a
You're
rotation.
in a
Sam.
rotation.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
pinch
So
hitter.
the odds,
You can
the odds
pick-
of that
You're talking
happening
about
in 10
pulling
years.
the pitcher out.
It's a pitch hitter.
Pinch hitter.
pinch hitter.
Pinch, like a pinch. But mostly it's to
You're in a
rotate
pinch.
out the.
I
pitcher.
understand it's to rotate out the pitcher, but it can be used to rotate out another batter to bring
So
in someone
more-
guaranteed to hit
Alright,
the
so
ball.
all right. In that scenario,
Then
though,
you're just
still,
playing chess because then the
I would
other guys
think
might
if
not
you
want
were
to fucking
that
throw
good
the
of a
ball at
hitter,
him.
you'd be playing for a team that's in the AL, and you'd be a designated hitter where all you do is come like that's your role
Yeah,
in the roster.
or
that
designated
night.
hitter.
Be a
Either
designated
way.
hitter is what-
Well, pinch hitter would be you're coming in off a substitution, and then
Yeah.
that's it versus a designated hitter who's actually part of the lineup the whole night.
Well, either way.
Well, let's put it this way.
I think-
So
I think honestly, hitting the game-winning ball, home run, grand slam would be a greater feeling than pitching a no-hitter.
No way, it's more common.
For
You
me
get, like, a- if you
personally,
get a
because
no-hitter,
I'd rather hit the
all
ball
eyes
than
on
pitch.
you all game long. Everybody's no one's saying shit. You got guys in your fucking bullpen making fucking binoculars out of fucking Gatorade
Yeah.
cups and
They're
shit.
trying to
man.
watch where they're getting in,
I'm just saying, like,
waiting for you to fuck up.
literally.
But
literally
you'd
as a
rather be
pitcher-
known as a hitter.
No, like
with no
I
fielding.
would 100% rather be.
I would rather be a fucking like a bass player.
That,
like,
that
The
really
options
is.
were pitcher or hitter, Danny.
Nah,
Because like if I was able to be,
I'd be with Danny on that, but in this situation,
yeah,
like
if I
well,
was
let's put
able
it
to
this way.
if I was able to play out in the field and be just a nasty hitter and like solid at my role in the
No,
field,
it's solid
I'm
right fielder.
I'd pick that
Solid
over
right
being a
fielder.
pitcher. So we're
Well,
talking
first,
like,
Solid fielding position.
what if I wanted to be like Tatis or Acuna?
Honestly, I think I would rather be like Shohei, 100% pitcher and hitter. Motherfucker's nasty.
well, yeah, but that wasn't the question. The question
I
was
know,
a well-known
just
pitcher or
personally.
well-known hitter.
I'd rather be
I'd
known
rather
as a
be-
hitter.
The issue with that, like if you're a well-known pitcher, like guys come up to the bat, they're like, oh
Sam.
fuck, this guy's gonna.
But
fuck
if
me up.
I'm
This is
the
crazy
greatest
good
hitter of
stuff."
all time, I'm hitting the greatest
I know,
pitcher.
y'all are
But the
forgetting
thing is, if
factor
you're the
here.
greatest hitter of all
Factor.
time,
You're getting
you walk up to that plate, you're getting
Nah.
walked. Exactly.
Nah, I'm out.
You ain't even gonna get a pitch to
Y'all
hit.
are forgetting one
That's what I've
factor.
been trying to say this entire time. If you're a
Come
known
on.
hitter, you ain't hitting. Let me talk. I've been trying to talk this whole conversation. If you're
Throw
a
some
well-known
balls.
hitter, you're being fucking walked. If you're a well-known pitcher, like there's nothing they can do about you. They can just sit there and just take your pitches over and over again.
And get struck out. over
But
and over.
honestly, though, if you think you're that great of a pitcher, you're not going to intentionally walk a batter that is
Yeah,
a
you
good
will.
batter.
Hey, Will.
Because
It's all
me
mental
personally,
based
if
on your-
I'm like a phenom pitcher and like the MLB's best hitter comes up, I'm gonna see if I can strike this motherfucker out.
You don't understand the game plan given
You'll
by your
get
fucking
benched,
manager.
dog. You'll
If
get
your
benched.
manager
I don't
calls
give
for
a
that
fuck.
intentional walk,
It's all about that one-on-one.
Because literally, the entire
Oh,
game, the
game.
coach is throwing hand signals at the pitcher and the catcher, or at the pitcher.
I understand the game. Me,
If you-
that's
you
why I
can't,
said me
like-
personally. That's what I would
Oh,
want
yeah.
as a
Also,
pitcher.
y'all are
Is
forgetting
I would
one
want to
fact-
see if I could strike out the best hitters there are.
Y'all are forgetting one factor. We also said this as 10-year career. I don't want to throw fucking 9 innings in a 10-year career
Nah.
all the fucking time.
If you're so good, you won't have to throw 9 innings.
Trust me, I would rather be making fucking hundreds of millions of dollars throwing a baseball than making
Like,
as a
what was it?
designated hitter.
Pitcher.
I don't think a DH is making all that much money, unless you're playing out in the field and getting like Bryce Harper type money.
Yeah,
Playing,
I'm
like,
not-
center field or playing out like.
And
I
if you're
just
the
don't wanna
best-
fucking ruin my arm over the span of 10 years throwing that fast.
Well,
Cause
if you're the best hitter in the game, you're like, how many championships are you going to win? Like, you're not really guaranteed anything because if the rest of your
doesn't
team
matter.
doesn't
how many
compete,
home run derbies are you gonna win?
Maybe. You know who won the one this year?
Not Shohei.
It wasn't Shohei.
Nope.
It wasn't anybody who anyone thought.
It wasn't
So
dude from the
It was
Nats.
Pete Alonso was hitting dingers.
Motherfucker got
Him and,
lucky.
Right.
The dude, Mancini, whatever, the dude that had cancer or something, he got second.
All right, so
So,
I'm pretty
It is
sure I'm
what
the
it is.
only. Well, me and Danny would be
well,
hitters.
Danny said that he wouldn't want to tear his arm up by throwing nine innings or 9 innings a night for fucking 10 years.
I wouldn't want to
But
do
I want
a
the-
long ass season every two
honestly,
fucking games.
I don't think you would last 10 years as the best pitcher. In the
That's what
league.
I'm saying. It just wouldn't happen. I mean, you
I
wouldn't
mean,
be the
it's
best.
also
You'd
hard
be
to
the
last
best.
as the
in,
best
like,
batter for 10 years as well. Like,
Alright.
you have a
Yeah.
few that are roided up.
I'm gonna jump around a couple of these questions.
the ones that presented the fucking South Park Trophy in the Special Olympics.
Boys,
I love that episode, dog. Such a great episode.
Cartman's a son of a bitch. All right, so should esports be considered or be included in the Olympics?
No,
I don't think so.
because it's already I mean, you already got. They're on a pro. The pros are getting kids at like 14, 15 years old.
So is soccer.
So are the
Yeah, that's my
Olympics.
point.
I mean,
But it's the thing. They're also getting paid for it.
in
So
every
are
sport, like, they have
esports.
professional leagues, but
No, I'm saying esports are. You're an amateur athlete at the Olympics, Sam.
I think
it all
honestly,
depends on
you're
what
not-
You
sport
still
you're
get
there,
paid
like,
for
what-
competing in the Olympics.
I understand that.
I think they already
But
do have
it's the
esports
difference
in Olympics.
between
don't they?
amateur and
No, they don't.
professional. It's the difference between.
I thought
amateur
I
and
thought they had
professional.
like a
If you're
Dota
a
thing
professional
or something.
esports player, you cannot go.
They have,
That
like,
wasn't-
their-
that
they only
wasn't
had, like,
the
their
question.
world
It should
championships, like,
esports
they used to have
be in the
esports, World
Olympics?
Esports
It
games.
can't. No, it shouldn't.
Why?
way
Why can't it
back.
be?
Because esports orgs are professionals.
What are you talking about?
I'm
There
not
isn't
talking
a
about the-
stipulation that says that pro athletes can't be in the Olympics.
Yeah,
That is true.
and
They're-
esports.
Pretty sure it was all amateurs, wasn't it?
No.
No.
So back, if you look at every
There's been
sport- if
NBA
you
players
look
who's
at-
played for
yeah, if
the
you look at
USA
every-
team.
yeah.
Why?
every
Why
sports
couldn't?
or-
Why
I'm thinking
couldn't?
of something else. Never mind.
Danny,
You're good.
why couldn't a
Continue.
nation
You don't
hold?
have to ask me anymore. I'm
I
good.
understand, but I still want to ask you this question: why couldn't the USA hold a video game competition for the people in different regions to compete in certain games to get a chance to go compete in the Olympics for their country?
Because other countries would
Because
also
we
have
get-
to compete
because we get
with
railed.
esports.
No,
leagues.
I'm saying, like,
Exactly.
why would-
Why
Nothing in
couldn't
Call
that
of
happen
Duty, that's
though?
it.
You're right. You're right. Like I said, I was thinking of something else.
So
You-
at
I
one
literally just said that.
point,
You didn't have to ask that.
so at one point, like for hockey, like they didn't allow pro athletes to play from the NHL. But
Right.
that was the whole thing. Like the whole fucking Miracle on Ice was a bunch of fucking amateur college kids and all that crap.
Oh, I
But
think other countries would get dick hard to compete in Olympic esports.
I don't think the
How many,
popularity.
No.
How many pro teams are like out of Australia? Pro like
There-
esports.
There are quite a few,
How many
Well,
pro orgs?
depending-
There's probably not many.
depending on what game, I should say.
Well, the thing about
Because
the
if
Olympics,
you look at the Asian countries, that's primarily going to be like fucking StarCraft,
Yeah, my thing also.
League of Legends.
Would they be playing Japanese produced games, American produced games,
they would obviously have to have like a
Like what
fucking
games would they play?
They would
long
have
lead
they would have
development.
like
Play FIFA?
they would probably have different games. Like they would have a sports game. They would have a first-person shooter game. They would have a strategy game.
Would be FIFA.
Yeah, my pro status is I've got a gold medal for esports and a virtual FIFA World Cup in said Olympics.
All I gotta say is they take that shit seriously, though. If you look at the people that actually compete for the FIFA tournaments,
Watch the FIFA
that shit's
qualifiers,
not a
dude.
fucking joke to them.
That's like they did the VR racing.
Well, if you take a look back a couple years at the Madden tournaments that they had, I'm gonna get a little dark here on it. The Madden
Where
tournaments
got
they had,
shot in the hand.
that the one dude, the kid, got upset that he got lost. He got shit on, and whipped out a gun and just started going ham.
Yeah, he shot the dude in the hand. Lives in DC.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
like,
I'm
I
still
think
playing video games.
like the Olympics is like the main thing that keeps it going is just like it's a very tradition heavy like
But yet they add new sports every
Events.
year.
Not
sports, but
Well-
it like the whole tradition is like man versus man or human versus human.
And what happens
So-
when there's not a good game coming out that year? Like not a, like
So-
the games are all shit. And what,
Oh,
what are they
So
gonna
so you're
They
telling
do what they
me
do at the World Cyber Games and they play COD 4 on PC.
so you're telling me in a video game it's not human versus human?
Well, it's a digital aspects. You're controlling a digital avatar.
Yes,
to
but
control
then it's
another
all
digital
based off of
avatar.
your personal reflexes, your ability to
Through
recognize the
system.
game.
You're using a controller to give digital inputs to a digital avatar to do things.
And bro, how many people? You really think that people in other countries aren't gonna hack during the fucking Olympics?
They could try.
I think there's too many variables. To play
Yes,
a
that's
video
the thing.
game
Like
at an
it's
event.
it's too digitally like taken away. Like,
Maybe very like maybe in the future, like when shit is more tech.
Oh, yeah, I think down the road it'll probably be.
Oh,
because
100%.
obviously it's
Right
So
now,
then-
popularity.
Agreed.
was the
Eventually,
question?
esports should be in the Olympics.
You said
I don't
should it
think so.
be? Should it be? No.
I
Should
don't think
be
it should
eventually.
It probably will, yeah, but I don't
Eventually.
think it should be.
Should it be? Was the question?
'Cause
No.
then you're-
Will
like-
it be? Probably.
Why
What if
shouldn't it be though?
Fuck, What about when video games become full dive?
Well, the thing is, like, you're still,
That's
it's
what I'm
still,
saying, that it
it's still
probably
digital.
will.
Like you're still like someone
Yeah, I
has to
know.
create it, and it's in a digital environment. You're not
That's what I'm
going
saying,
like
there
a
are so many
personal
variables.
human
That's what I'm
versus
saying.
another personal. Exactly.
me
Yeah,
use this
that was a really
People
good.
aren't gonna like you're telling
Do
me
the
if
Olympics
Aus-
not have an organization that run and dictate everything?
I do.
You're telling
So
me
wouldn't
if,
that
like,
organization have said people who
Well,
could
then they would
design
have
this
to
stuff for
develop
them?
a video game for.
You're telling me if Russia
No, not
was
necessarily
America-
develop a video game, but develop an area where shit's not going to go down. There's not going to be interruption
You can't-
issues.
You can't guarantee that. There's always.
How many
that-
countries are gonna say, "Oh, we're gonna compete on an American-made video game
That's
against
what I'm saying,
Americans"?
like you're telling me Russia loses to America on American game. This is bullshit.
Probably, but I think there's too many
They're gonna
variables at this
straight
point in
trash
time.
the fucking game. The producers like.
But I also think that there still isn't as much popularity as people would like to think. For there to be a complete agreement on one
Esports is- yeah.
specific game, because right now,
Esports is still a relatively new thing.
because right
it's
now,
gaming-
if they were
gaming
going to play a
trash.
game, it would be Dota 2 is what they would play right now.
Yeah.
Now, as a fan of anything, would you sit there and watch on the Olympics an American team play Dota 2?
Maybe. Maybe.
So until your answer is yes,
Maybe.
I think they need to go to the drawing board before they
Maybe.
figure out what the fuck they're going to play.
Maybe. It depends. It depends on how much they hype it up and advertise it.
I just don't think that they would go with a game like that because obviously you want to
I think
use
Counter Strike would be one.
something.
Well, the general public, like we're gamers, so we would probably watch it if it was on. But the general public, then will look at it and like, what the fuck is this? This is dumb.
Yeah, like a lot of people want to see like there's a lot of people that watch for swimming.
You consider esports players
Yeah,
athletes,
dude.
Sam?
When we were at the fucking when I was
They are in the U.S.
Yeah.
No,
By
do you
law.
consider you like video game gamers athletes?
Yeah, because I can tell you what, I can't sit there and play the same fucking game for 8 hours
I don't know,
straight.
saying a video gamer is an athlete is about the same as a NASCAR driver being an athlete, like a race car driver being an athlete.
They are athletes.
Yeah. There's a lot that goes behind the
Do
scenes.
physical training.
There's a
In
lot of physical
NASCAR.
behind it.
Yeah.
Well, like professional gamers do physical training as well.
Oh, I understand.
All I'm
that, but
saying-
like,
Not
I'm
Momo.
asking though, do you consider them?
Most professional gamers.
Momo ain't.
I don't know if
Oh.
I consider a NASCAR driver an
I can tell you
athlete.
right
They
now, a
but-
professional gamer, there's no way I can compete with.
but they don't have an athletic. Their profession is not an it's not like an athletic sport.
That's exactly. That's
But
the
they
whole
have
argument about I don't think it should be an Olympics
reflexes
because it's really
and
not an athletic sport.
High cognitive abilities.
Same reason why there's no like racing, like IndyCar or at Formula One or whatever in Olympics, because it's not really a physical, athletic human versus human sport. Yeah, they're human versus humans, but they're using machines to do everything.
I just think when you
Except
get to
take the
stuff like
physical
that-
toll on their body with all the G forces they're taking.
Right, but a lot of the Olympics is still based off of the original Olympics, where it is
Yes, very
like
traditional. The
triathlons and
tradition.
Yeah.
track and swimming. So it's physical activities like that. Like adding skateboarding
Active.
and BMX to it was like a big deal. That they added that and removed
It was a smart deal.
one of like the.
I don't think they
fucking-
should have removed snowboarding, but I'm glad they brought it back.
Someone
Yeah.
sitting in any type of chair to the Olympics right now.
They do bobsledding though,
Yeah.
but then again, that's not a motorized vehicle.
That's
It's not a motorized
Yeah,
vehicle.
but then you're
It is
reliant on the
an
ice
extension of a
and
tool.
your team.
Like it's
'Cause
a,
they're-
like
Okay. Without a driver, a vehicle can't move, Fox.
well, it's still a tool.
Exactly.
You're not using a machine to run it. You're
Yeah.
physically controlling, like hockey. Like you're not using
A
your
hammer
hand to
drill
poke-
is
to
a
hit the
tool,
puck.
but it is a machine as well.
Like you're not using
A drill
uh,
press is a
your
machine, but a
hand. You're
tool as
using
well.
a stick to move the puck.
Because
So you're
they
using
have
a
batteries and electronics, Sam.
Does a car not have a battery?
Well, the
Either
car
way.
has like an engine who produces power, which gives power
I'm
to you
sure
moving.
that they have fucking looked at current sports that are popular because obviously Formula One has a
Yeah.
higher population.
That
of
would be
interest than
dope as
NASCAR
fuck.
does. But I think for an Olympic sport, I think there is too many variables to
Yes.
have that as an event. Like, yes, you would obviously have to do qualifying throughout the year to make that happen and have one race or X amount of heats or whatever, probably just one fucking race. But with the car, there's too many aspects that can go wrong that someone's just going to be like, well, fuck it, this was a complete waste for the event. You know what I mean? So, like,
Mm.
the same thing would kind of go into, honestly,
there are
bobsledding and that
and the
whole
thing
thing
is-
kind of-
Well, the thing is with bobsledding, like it's
Well,
still
if you-
physical power. Like they're physically pushing the cart across like the starting plateau, and then once they hit down, it's their physical body controlling the curves.
So say you
Really,
did
all they have is brakes on the front. That
Yeah,
dude in the front
exactly.
can pull brakes. That's really about
And they
it.
don't.
if
Yeah,
you did
exactly.
do the racing in the Olympics though, how would you do it? Would each country have to use their made cars? So
Well,
like
I'm sure
America
that
would have
that's
to
not
use an
really.
American
Well,
because
that comes
at
into
that
the
point,
variables.
at that point, the limits on cars in different countries are very, very different.
Again, that's why I said there's a lot of variables with it. I don't know if they would really make. I'm sure in the fucking cycling, I'm sure they're not like, okay, hey, you're American, you have to use a fucking mongoose. You know what I mean?
Because I'm sure that's America's bike right
Some-
there.
I'm sure
Some dude showed no pegs allowed.
Bicycle,
I'm
like
sure that that's
bicycles are
fine.
super simple, like machination. Well, you're still using your own physical power to move the bike along.
Yeah, I just say like in the esports thing, I just think that there's too many variables with
Yeah.
hardware.
Me, I would like to see it eventually. I
Yeah,
think it
mean,
would be a
I'm-
cool thing to see. Have like America's gaming team.
I'd like to watch like a world thing, but I don't think it should be a part of the
I'll
Olympics.
say
though.
this: when I think
They
our
used-
generation,
they
It,
used-
they might make a like digital Olympics.
They used to do the World Cyber Games, and that was where
Yeah,
Halo
that
would be
NBC
dope.
used to be part of it.
But I still
because
feel like the Olympics
Overwatch
should be
over
a separate
two were part of
thing,
the
like
Team
two separate
USA.
categories. Like an E-Olympics versus a regular Olympics. Yeah, I can see that. Like a
They
digital
actually-
version of an Olympics.
that would be
Like
cool.
how they do the Winter Olympics and
Like
the
they would,
Normal
like
Olympics.
they
Yeah,
would make a set
Have,
of
like
games.
another
Like
branch of the Olympics.
They
I
could
can
do
see
that now.
But
They
you
could
can't
straight up
mix
do
in
that.
gaming and fucking wrestling or swimming. Or
no,
something
no, no.
like that.
So
It's
like
just-
you would
it
have
doesn't
your
mix.
Olympics going on, and then after that, then your digital Olympics would air.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like right now, I don't see it as being something in the next 5 years, but I mean, I'm sure down the road, I'm sure it'll obviously, as obviously, if you guys know as the time goes on, the youth nowadays is getting.
It's gaining traction. Like it's
Oh,
it's
100%.
Yeah.
There are 6
Because kids aren't wanting to grow up to be fucking athletes anymore. They want to be fucking YouTubers, influencers.
be like this
Yeah.
and dyed blue.
Don't talk about your favorite streamer. Like
I hate that
Fuck outta
guy.
here. My favorite streamer's fat and bald and has a beard. Okay.
I think my favorite streamer does roids.
Nick Merckx.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
Tyler
One.
One? No, he's got.
Let's
some-
not touch that one.
No, it's roids and autism. Is what it is.
Let's not touch that one, boys.
That's a hell of a combination. I feel like.
All right, so that
He's-
wraps it up
he's
for the questions.
fantastic.
So
Oh, he's great, dude. He's a great streamer.
I'm gonna go to DJ on this one. So Logan Paul's big misfortune, boys.
What GI Joe? GI Joe.
The $3.5 million he spent on a first edition booster box of like
sealed.
case seal.
It was a six booster box case. It's no different than what you buy for modern products. It was a sealed box that has been documented over the last year and a half as being suspicious or fake.
And the
he
dude he
sealed
bought it from opened it up with him.
Yep.
So the dude that he
He
bought
gave
it
his money
from,
back.
the dude that he bought it from bought it for 2.7 million from this random guy, right? So he even said that there was inconsistencies with the story of the box. That being there should have been a red flag on $2.7 million. Just right there.
100%.
The
Can you
fact
imagine
that-
being wealthy enough to ignore red flags on a $2.7 million purchase?
Even if I
So-
was that wealthy, I still
There's a
Still
reason
wouldn't.
why the guy
been poor
bought it,
too long.
though, with the inconsistencies on it, though.
Because he knew he
There's-
could resell it at a higher value.
So yes, but it was wrapped with an authenticated wrap from BWCC or whatever. So what they do is they have a pretty good reputation on sports cards and sports boxes and cases. So they do have a good track record. They're not like some random fucking ass grading company that looked at it. So their professional opinion said that the tape was weathered into the box, like it had aged with the box, like it wasn't
Resealed.
falsely done. So it did look legitimate, but how long that box had been fake, like it could have been faked 5 years ago and just sat, around whatever. Once they cut the box open, though,
You could
I mean,
immediately.
you
Immediately.
didn't even have to get. I don't even know why he got excited when they cut it, because as soon as you cut it, you could see that it was fucking discolored.
And it fucking pressed down, dude.
Well, yeah. So outside the fact that the box is bulged like that, it was off colored as fuck. Like, and then once they pulled the first box out, how it bent so easy, it's not made out of the same
You
cardboard.
think we'll get busted for pulling up the video of him opening it to Sam?
I'm
Yeah.
not even worried about fucking giving his video any sort of fucking playtime because he's.
I'm not gonna give it his.
Yeah, I don't.
How
Um,
genuine do you think the opening was?
I think
Like,
the
do you
whole
think he
thing-
knew it was fake before he opened it?
I think
No,
he
the
knew there
whole
was a
thing is
possible.
bullshit.
You think so?
Absolutely, I think the entire thing is bullshit. I think he knew that the box was fake. I think everybody that's there knew the box was fake. Prior.
I don't really think. Then, if that's the case, he probably didn't spend money
But-
on it. He did it
But
as
the
a publicity
but
thing.
The problem was with one of the guys that was there is actually relatively genuine in the Pokemon community, so I'm very surprised that he would have been. That's my opinion, though. That's not fact. But the fact that there was so much, like, the people that he has around him that are in the Pokemon community are well known individuals. Like the guy that he had there is the Pokaju on Instagram.
Do you see?
Crazy
The
collection.
Charizard Master came out, put a video out about it.
Yeah, the whole thing is a joke. It's the fact that he has all these people that are in the community that are big that know him, that he
All right,
talks
DJ.
to.
Hold on. Let's look at this real quick.
But
Look at
you
this.
would think with common sense that somebody would go, because the label's fucking wrong in the first place, the fucking part number on the fucking box. But you would think
100% real.
All right, that's it, Danny.
so. The thing about it though is would be like if you have all these people that are around you before you're about to go make a massive purchase like that, you would think that you would ask them. So this box has been documented, like it's been documented for like a year and a half because it was on eBay twice. Nothing lines up with anything.
You know, for something like that, I'd want the original purchase receipt with it.
You're probably not going to get that because like the whole thing was, all right, this person went to an estate sale. This was like one of the stories.
Oh,
that they
so
went
this is the backstory?
bought it. Like they bought a bunch of shit at the house. They're buying comic books, sports cards, and then there was this box that they bought 10 years ago. At the time, it wasn't that valuable. 10 years ago, you could get a first edition box for like fucking 30.
So my question is whoever bought it from the estate sale just assumed it was Pokemon cards?
No, that's just an assumed story.
Oh.
But it does say that it is Pokemon related on the box. It has the stop fucking tape on it, and then the actual part number does say something about fucking Pokemon booster boxes. So you can see that, but then I mean, an easy Google search, if you looked up that fucking part number, it'll tell you exactly what it's supposed to be.
Right.
Like what the SKU kind of, it's not a SKU, but like a model number.
Right.
It'll tell you exactly what it's supposed to be. So certain characters will tell you if it's first edition or if it's not, or if it's base set or if it's not. So the seal on it is good, but the fucking label on it is wrong.
And they weren't even first edition.
Well, I think because G.I. Joe didn't make first edition
Yeah.
cards.
That was the funny part.
So I think the big thing is that I think the item number actually comes back as a fossil booster box, if I'm not mistaken. So that was like one of the jungle. It's something like the next set after, and so they were like, oh, well, maybe it was just out of the factory real quick, possible, whatever. The fact that he also thought that he's the only person that had a first edition base set case, he's sadly mistaken, because old Gary has one, and it's not 100% sealed; it's half slit to verify that it was legitimate, and it is legitimate. So
Right.
he has a sealed case. But I mean, when he bought all those loose first edition base set booster boxes, he actually consulted with people. Like he actually verified that these things were legitimate, and then that was it. But I don't fuck. There was already that one. There was already the one fake one with the fucking guru, where fuck that bald headed bitch that was sitting there in that one video. They cut it open and had a bunch of fake packs in it. But the fact that they opened it up and it was all G.I. Joe packs, all I see now in Facebook groups are people trying to sell G.I. Joe packs for $18,000, just being funny.
Jesus
They're like,
Christ.
I know what
They're
I know what
fucking
I
up
have.
the card game.
They're just being fun. They're just being funny. They're not actually trying to sell these G.I. Joe packs, but they're like, I know what I have.
All right, Danny, you want to talk about this next story?
What?
Your dragon?
Oh, they found a fucking goddamn water dragon fossilized in fucking Great Britain.
32 foot long. They're calling it a sea dragon.
So Gyarados.
More like
If you
Loch
say the
Ness
Minecraft
Monster.
thing,
The Loch Ness Monster.
more like a feraligator.
One of Loch Ness Monster's ancestors.
More like a feraligator, but Gigantamax. No bullshit. That's what this thing looks like.
That would be nutty though if that would actually be like the Loch Ness Monster like offspring. Like it's just an older one that died.
one of the boxes didn't say first edition on the front.
They were all fake.
So,
anyway. But
I
this-
know, that's so funny.
the bottom middle box.
Is the picture of the fossil.
That looks like a big alligator.
It looks
Yeah.
like that thing from
Big for alligator.
Land Before Time 2, like the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that ate
Tyrannosaurus.
the T-Rex, the one that
So,
ate the T-Rex.
What it
Yeah.
actually is it's a what's it called? It's a dinosaur skeleton, obviously. It was at one time the biggest animal in the sea and was the ultimate apex predator. It is called a Ichthyosaurus. Ichthyosaur. Anyone want to give that a go?
No, I'm good.
But that is the largest one found.
It's the same description they use for the sea Tyrannosaurus.
They were first discovered off the south coast of England, and they were extinct 90 million years ago. Dude, that's fucking wild. Well, boys, we had a bit of sad news in the gaming industry this past
Yep.
week.
Take a moment
One of my
silence.
most beloved games, Halo 3, servers were officially shut down.
Still got Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, that's why. So that's why in this scenario for me, it's not as big of a deal as it was for when
Now,
the
if they
Halo
shut down the
server
old
shut down.
Master, if they shut down Master Chief Collection,
It won't.
I
Not
know they
anytime
won't.
soon. Probably not ever. Actually,
If they ever do, that's
I
gonna
don't
be a
think
sad,
they-
sad day.
They never will. I don't think they ever will.
You
I
think
think
they'll
it's the
just keep
fact
adding the
that-
games to it?
was there a confirmation on the fact that if the servers belonged to Bungie at the time still, or if they belonged to 343?
I think the
With,
original Halo 3 servers on Xbox belonged to Bungie.
Might have
and I
still been
think
under Activision.
Those were the ones that got shut down.
The original one's still under Activision, yeah. No, Bungie wasn't Activision.
No,
Bungie was its own.
Blizzard,
exactly,
yeah.
But yeah. So I'm wondering if that would be part of it, if like they were still under Bungie's control, and that's why they finally went down versus Microsoft having them. I don't know if they would have kept them up,
But that makes me wonder on the console side for the Master Chief Collection.
no, it's a separate game. It's
Yeah.
not it's not
Okay.
servers.
Got you.
And those
So
Halo
they just
3 servers
reloaded
were-
this game onto different servers.
Those
pretty
Halo
much.
3 servers were set up like, what, 15 years ago? 16 years ago?
Longer than that.
2007.
20 years? Well, I thought, like, what was it, 2005? 2003?
2007 was Halo 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought 2005 but
Yeah,
That was Halo
2000
2?
2001 was Halo 1. 2003 or so was Halo 2.
gotcha.
They were out for about 3 years before they put out the next one.
Yeah.
Because Halo Reach was in 2010. But yeah, if it was like a Bungie thing, I get it. Honestly, though, it's not that big of a fucking deal if you really think about it, because the big deal for Halo 2, when people were keeping their Xboxes
So they
on
couldn't
and-
shut
and
it down.
custom games, so they couldn't shut it down.
Those were some
They-
troopers.
They were.
Remember
they were
kids
eating-
getting the fucking red ring of death on their consoles?
Consoles were getting cooked because they were staying on for so long.
Yeah.
But
They were trying to keep them up as long as they
Dedication, man.
I'm
could. So
trying
you're
to
telling me
remember-
they just flood the servers, stay on as long as you can?
Pretty much. Keep your
Well, I
Xbox
think
on.
possibly, like, the percentage of players playing Halo 3 on the Master Chief Collection versus the original Xbox 360 Halo 3 game, I feel is just outweighed the decision.
I guarantee those servers were so fucking jank.
Oh, so.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So
Old as fuck.
there was a group of 12 players when this is when the so Microsoft offered each of the players access to the Halo Reach beta when the Halo 2 players were still staying online. They were playing on the original Xbox,
Jeez.
and Microsoft had also turned off access to Xbox Live for anyone using an original Xbox, but those who had managed to not log out of Halo 2 were able to keep playing. So 12 players played
Troopers.
they kept for 3 weeks.
Both
They kept
players?
Gods among men.
for 3 weeks, and it dwindled down from 12 down to 1.
They can't shut down the servers with active players.
It has to do with, I think, kicking people out of the online features for live, because they weren't shutting down Xbox Live, they were shutting down the server. But I think it had to do, it's probably something weird on their end. I don't think they're physically like turning off a server, but I'm sure it's like a service.
Oh, just like recycling it or whatever.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of like when you have a software open on your PC to
Oh,
try to shut it
yeah.
down. It's
Okay.
like, no, bud, you need to save
Yeah.
this document first.
That makes sense.
But yeah, so for 3 weeks after after they started shutting it down, but that was a lot different because you weren't getting that same functionality across for Halo or on 360. Everybody was on Halo 3 at that point. This was already getting into Halo Reach at that point as well. So nobody was really as worried about it. But now that Master Chief Collection exists on PC and on Xbox One
On separate servers.
and also the S.
Speaking of Xbox One, the Xbox One has been discontinued.
Yes. And also, speaking about the PS5,
They're gonna stop
Yeah.
production and
Sony-
put out more PS4s.
They're not going to
Yeah.
stop
well,
production.
they're not
They're
gonna
going
stop,
to.
but their way to try to mitigate the lack of having PS5s is make more PS4s.
Which makes no fucking sense.
No.
Well, they're
I'm
hoping
fine.
people still go buy a PS4 since they can't get the PS5 right now, so they have time to make more PS5s
But
while they're putting out
it's
the
a dumb
PS4s.
It's a dumb
Yeah,
thought
like
process.
Yeah.
I haven't even
Yeah,
bothered
for
looking
sure.
into any of those articles. Because,
So,
like, what's the fucking incentive? Like, how's
GameStop-
that going to make up for it?
GameStop is now gonna be not only with an excess of fucking what the fuck was it? Wii's. They're gonna have an excess of PS4s.
I might go
Yeah,
get
well,
me a new
'cause-
PS4.
Because like the people that are
Dead
that
ass,
are
'cause
trying
Prices
to
will probably
go-
drop.
Right?
Yeah, probably. And that
That's
might
what I'm
also be
saying.
the case too, is that the price might also be not that bad for people that are like, oh well.
Next
it's not-
Black Friday, PS4s are gonna be $150.
Do you realize how fucking loud my jet engine is over here when I turn
Dog,
on
it sounds like Jeff Bezos
And
is
you got
building
like
a
a
new
regular
rocket.
one, dude. I have a fucking Pro, and I thought this thing was loud.
Yeah, no, I have the OG, the original.
So do I.
I got the
It's
Slim.
sitting on my floor though. Right there.
Yeah, it's not played. When's the last time you played on that thing?
Since I got the 5, not.
None.
All right.
The 5, primo. Quiet as can be, quick as fuck. Installing games, nutty.
All right,
You
boys.
can up. That's the thing. You can upgrade. The PS5 has a fucking
Yeah.
M.2 slot.
They had there was like a questionable thing about that though, where they were like something about the firmware at the time.
At
wasn't
the time, at the
supporting-
beginning, but
supporting
they
the upgrade, but now it
Yeah.
does.
they've changed
I-
it so that way it's compatible.
I haven't really thought about having the need for it yet because I don't play it a ton.
Yeah. Well, there's not really a ton out for it quite yet.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
do though. After watching that Kingdom Hearts speedrun though, I want to play it and I have it still wrapped because it looks. I've never played Kingdom Hearts before.
Neither have
I
I.
watched during my
That's
month,
real.
my last month of work. I was with 2 other guys in an apartment in Sioux Falls here, South Dakota, and that was one of the things they did because we were super slow. Like we weren't getting very much work out here, so that's like their main thing. They went through and they platinumed Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 3. So I watched fucking shit ton of Kingdom Hearts over the summer in that
That's
one
my
month of
goal
span time.
is to do that. It's just to
Mhm.
platinum them, but they look honestly like when I first saw someone play it, I think it was probably Ivan, probably, and I was like, "This is lame as fuck. Fuck Disney." And then I started.
I was like,
watching
how
it,
could you do
and
that to
I'm
Final
like-
Fantasy characters?
I'm like, all right, it's not that bad. And then I make the joke that I'm like, man, they made a whole game about a fucking Smash character.
Yeah, like the first, like it starts out like kind of like literally like a hybrid like Disney Final Fantasy, but then it slowly gets away from Final Fantasy. Like Final Fantasy is kind of a hindsight in like the later.
Yeah, the
Later on.
combat mechanics though actually look pretty like decent.
If you
Yeah,
start
well,
with the first one and go forward, it's good. But these guys, they started with Kingdom Hearts 3 and went backwards, and
Oh,
dude,
that's
like
where
the
you fuck
fucking
up
system
anyways.
shock was just.
If you're like, I feel like if you want to play it and do platinum, you might as well start with the first one.
Yeah,
Where-
Well, they were playing
Yeah.
the third one when
It
they
just
got the
gets
idea.
worse and worse at that point.
Yeah,
All right,
I guess
they
boys.
were playing the third one. It's got the idea. It's like, hey, let's platinum them all. They're like, okay, that's a good idea.
We
And then they
gonna
went backwards and it was
Wrap
not
up
a
the
good story.
podcast now because I am motherfucking starving.
Oh, answer to question
No
7.
parlay?
Yes.
No parlay?
Oh shit.
Fuck, dude, I'm hungry as fuck right now.
Well,
That's
go grab
why
some
I
food
had-
while we get it up.
There's there's nothing I can just go grab.
That's why I had
You
some
can
Sure.
go put taquitos in the fucking thing.
That's why I had scrambled eggs were brought to me.
I woke up
Yeah.
like
Mom.
like 20 minutes before
Hey,
6
Mom.
o'clock, so
Hey, Dad.
I didn't have time to eat anything yet.
Hey, Dad. Can we get pizza?
That must be nice. Have someone else cook for you.
No, actually, she just happened to walk by and asked me if I wanted anything.
All right, boys. Let's run through this parlay real quick then.
Oh no, this is like I only got like 2 or 3 weeks of participating in the parlay.
Yeah, we did Dick last week. We didn't drop a goose egg, but whoever had the Steelers versus the Ravens was the only one that hit.
Yes.
Well, because Detroit beat the Packers.
So I don't. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck.
Hey,
What's
well,
supposed to do
actually-
about that?
Actually, and we'll go back to say that if Detroit could beat the Packers, there is no way.
I
in
told
hell
you
that
the
Georgia
Detroit is a
beat
better
Detroit.
team. They have a worse record, but they're a better team than both the
Oh,
Jets and
Oh yeah.
They had like a late season surge. Yeah, I think the Jaguars are the
I
worst.
said if y'all don't start winning, we're wrapping this shit up here. We about to move this to London. About to get out of Motor City. Yeah, somehow I fucking missed on the Queens Park Rangers somehow. I don't even know what the fuck happened that game.
I want to take 49ers over the Cowboys.
Not do that. Their defense is going to terrorize 49ers offense.
I don't know. The 49ers kind of have a what do you call it? Like a gadget offense. It's not like a traditional run.
I think I'm going to stay away from football this week.
I'll say if it comes down to Jimmy G.
I don't
being
like
Dak
the
Prescott, then Jimmy G's gonna lose.
I think I will take the. I think I'll just take the money line of the. Fuck. Yeah, I'll go with the Los Angeles Rams over the Arizona Cardinals.
And I'm going to take the Atlanta Hawks over the New York Knicks.
Do you need to talk to Austin first before you?
How
Nah,
the fuck
my
did the
name's not
Raiders
Danny.
make the playoffs?
Oh, so because the Raiders. All
Oh,
they
you're still
needed
betting
was
on the
a-
Hawks, though, Sam?
They needed a win or a tie.
They're playing the Knicks.
To get in.
Oh right,
Knicks
yeah, I
Chargers,
remember now.
Yeah.
I remember.
It was.
seeing
It was. That was. I felt bad for Steelers fans because they were probably clenching their asshole because.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
Yeah,
literally
but they're not the
Steelers
Knicks that knew
needed-
yet.
The Steelers needed anything but a tie. Like they needed someone to win that game, and it
Yeah,
went
they
into
are.
the last minute of overtime.
The Knicks went, what,
Fucking-
second round of the playoffs last year?
Well,
The
they
Steelers are
went to-
down a
they were at, like,
double-digit spread in a
500
fucking playoff
And
game.
made the playoffs and went from like one of the worst teams defensively to the fourth best team defensively. That's why their coach got coach of the year last year.
The Knicks ain't the old Knicks, I don't.
No, the Knicks are not the old Knicks, but they still have some work.
I'll take Man City
What?
What's that, Mr.
over
Roboto?
Chelsea.
You're
City
lagging.
over Chelsea.
Yeah, my connection's fucking shit right now.
Man
for some
City.
reason. Over Chelsea.
I think that might have just been a Discord hiccup.
Yeah, something.
It wa- it wasn't just you.
Chelsea, Sam's taking what?
I am taking the Hawks over the Knicks. We're gonna spread the sports out this week, boys.
Yeah,
No.
the NFL is like the only sport I have like any
N-
kind of
NBA,
modern or common.
taking the Hawks over
knowledge
the
about.
Knicks.
Yep. And after you get your bet in and we see the thing, I got one question I gotta ask because I just scrolled across it while on Facebook.
What?
The answer
went
is
all robot.
72.
What?
I said once you figure out your bet and we get everything in, there's a question I want to ask you guys that I saw while scrolling on Facebook.
Okay.
Would you choose
so-
Fox?
I chose the money line of the Rams over the Cardinals.